Good morning, everyone, to our participants. Welcome to the third session in our four-part webinar series on homeschool team parental involvement in home-based learning. This is brought to you by the Bicol University College of Education in partnership with the Bicol University Extension Management Division. I am Catherine Lourdes Torre, a faculty member of the Early and Late Childhood Department of the Bicol University College of Education, and I will be your moderator for this morning. We will be officially starting our session with the playing of the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by an opening prayer.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silangan, anak ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyad ka ng magiging, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisili. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mabaga, may nilagang tulad, awit sa paglayang minamahal. Pag-islap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na naglilindi. Ang bituin at araw niya, kailan pang mali magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng ating pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pamay mga pilang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Almighty, ever-living God, the most merciful and compassionate, we thank you for creation and the life you have given us. Together, we people of diverse religions, spiritual expressions and indigenous traditions, who invoke you by different names, humbly pray for your providence and protection, in the midst of the COVID crisis. Strengthen and guide government leaders, and private agencies, especially our administrators, faculty and staff, for the wisdom to do what is right and just. Enlighten the minds of students, that despite the educational limitations in this new normal, they may study diligently and effectively. Bless our families, remove our fears, and help us to trust in your love, so that by our example and generosity, we can inspire and help others. Grant all of us, especially the frontliners, good health and accept those who have died in your kingdom. Amen.
At this point, we shall be hearing a message from the Dean of the Bicol University College of Education. Friends, please all welcome Dr. Lorna M. Minya.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to all our participants in this Zoom room, and good morning to our online viewers. To our resource persons and organizers of this four-part webinar, the teachers, the students, the parents, I would like to gladly welcome you all in this morning's series, in this morning's episode of home-based learning. It has been almost a year since our mobility has been restricted by the situation we are in, which affected almost all aspects of our life, particularly the education of our children. Students have been confined to their homes to learn independently or with the help of their parents. Parents and teachers have assumed different roles, all of which are new and challenging. As parents, we also find sometimes that despite all the effort that we do to help our children, there is still something that we are not doing right, or there is still something that seems to be missing. Maybe there are things we're not doing right, or our children are looking for somebody else who can help them aside from the parents. Well, I hope that our resource persons this morning can give us insights on how best we can help our children and our learners. The insights they will share, which have been gained from years of experience and training, may shed light on our predicament and open our minds to some possibilities that can be explored, and maybe can help us learn things or strategies for helping our learners or children cope with home-based learning. So in behalf of Bicol University and the College of Education, I would like to welcome you again to this third part of the webinar series. To those who have been with us since the first part, thank you for reserving your time to be part of this endeavor. We are hoping that as a teacher education institution, we can be of help to the students, to the parents, and to their teachers through this endeavor. So once again, good morning, everyone, and I hope you learned something from this part of the webinar series on home-based learning. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Minya, for your message and for always taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us in all the sessions so far of our home-based webinar series. Now, we shall listen to another message from the OIC of the Bicol University Extension Management Division, Ma'am Rowena F. Zoilo. Madam.
Thank you, Ma'am Catherine. And of course, to the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Lorna Minya, the College Extension Coordinator, Professor Rafi Buemia, the faculty and staff of BUCE, my colleagues in the Extension Management Division, to the more than 700 viewers in this webinar, both in the FB Live and Zoom, a pleasant morning to all. Of course, to the resource speaker din po pala. In one of the webinars which I attended, Francis Kong said that one of the positive effects of this pandemic is the expansion of resourcefulness and innovation. Because of the limitations and restrictions in having a face-to-face classes, we were introduced to a home-based education. So our local and national leaders, as well as us as educators, continue to develop strategies on how learning can still be possible while staying at home. Thus, yung home-based learning will continue to be part of our children's education while risk in our health still exists. So this webinar entitled Helping Children in Home-Based Learning, a Practical Guide to Knowledgeable Others. This is actually the third of the fourth-part series. Provide support not only to our learners, but also to the parents, siblings, and other significant adults who can offer support to our learners as they face the challenges in education in this time of health crisis. So our students actually need strong support at home while learning. At And it's not only the parents who can encourage and motivate them to learn, but also yung so-called knowledgeable others like siblings and other adult members of the family. So as we go to the series of topics of this webinar, it's actually getting more and more interesting. So I wish you all an engaging day with this very interesting and insightful webinar. So thank you very much and good luck to all.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Zoilo, for your words of encouragement and support. We highly appreciate your presence with us this morning. Our session for today is on helping children in home-based learning, a guide for the more knowledgeable others. On behalf of the team from the Bicol University College of Education and the Bicol University Extension Management Division, we thank our participants for joining us through our live stream on a number of Facebook pages, including the following: the Bicol University Extension Management Division Facebook page, the Bicol University College of Education Facebook page, and the Bicol University College of Education Integrated Laboratory High School Facebook page, among others. We have more than 700 pre-registered participants for this webinar session. Also, joining us today are 3 guest participants who will help us better understand our topic. Our resource speaker will formally introduce them later. Now, before I introduce our resource speaker, allow me to remind everyone of the following house rules. Number 1, please always be on time. As much as possible, especially for those participants who will be given access to our Zoom room, please try to go online at least 5 minutes before the scheduled start of the webinar. Number 2, pay attention. Listen, and we encourage you to take down notes while the resource person is speaking. Number 3, speak up. Please feel free to share your comments, experiences, and questions through the chat or comment box. The team would love to hear from you. For the participants who are in the Zoom room, please use the raise hand reaction button so that you may be recognized by the moderator before you unmute your microphone and speak. Number 4, keep your questions brief to manage our time. Similarly, listen intently to your fellow participants when they ask questions so that we may avoid repetition of queries. Number 5, let us keep our webinar a safe and respectful space. And lastly, please do not forget to leave us a review. Do not forget to accomplish the evaluation form at the end of the webinar. This is so we can know how to improve and what other topics you would want to hear from us in the future. As I mentioned a while ago, and as is customary, we opened our pre-registration a few days before the schedule of this webinar. Today, we will be giving away 100 pesos load cards to the first 5 participants who pre-registered. So this is courtesy of the Buse Extension Office through the effort of our very dynamic extension coordinator, Sir Pop Buemia. So please listen closely as I announce the name of our prepaid card load winner. So malay nyo kayo po yung nanalo. So ito na po, I will be announcing 5 names. Number 1, Madrilejos Chi M of Daraga National High School. Again, Madrilejos Chi M of Daraga National High School. The second, Marbella Marjorie D of Daraga Community College. Again, Miss Marbella Marjorie D of Daraga Community College. Number 3, Colera Sarah A. of Daragak Community College. Again, Colera Sarah A. of Daragak Community College. The fourth winner is Marantal Joshua Pedragosa of Anislag National High School. Again, Marantal Joshua Pedragosa of Anislag National High School. And the last winner of our 100 pesos load card is Reiko Francine May M. of Anislag National High School. Again, Reiko Francine May M. of Anislag National High School. So congratulations to the winners. Please keep your lines open as Sir Pop will contact you for the load cards. Thank you very much. Now at this point, allow me to introduce our resource speaker. So our resource person is a true blue Biowenyo. He is a proud alumna of the Bicol University College of Education, where he received multiple awards for excellence, including the Honorific Academic Scholar Award and the Most Outstanding Researcher Award, among others. After graduating, he continued to pursue higher education. He earned his master's degree in mathematics from the Bicol University Graduate School last 2010. And he has already completed his academic requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics Education from the same institution. At present, he is a faculty member of the Science, Technology, and Mathematics Department of the Bicol University College of Education. Prior to his tenure with the university, he has taught in various private schools and community colleges. He also taught as a high school teacher in two DepEd schools before finally transferring to the university last 2017. He has served as coach in various math competitions and festivals, and he has also extensive experience as a speaker and resource person in various disciplines in education and mathematics. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our very able resource speaker for this morning, Prof. Richard M. Lorente. Sir Richard.
Thank you, Ma'am Kat, for your generous introduction. Magandang buhay, mga kapamilya at kapuso, and belated Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. To all our viewers in BU College of Education and BU Extension Management Division FB pages, and to all the participants in Zoom, to all the viewers from different places, to my commentors from different schools, from DepEd, in private schools and universities, and of course, the heroes in this home-based learning, the parents, siblings, teachers, and the rest of the knowledgeable others. Good morning. And thank you so much for your time and support to this webinar series. Special thanks to the proponents of this webinar, Ma'am Ruby and Sir Buemia, for inviting me and the whole team of the home-based learning. So at this point, allow me to share my screen. Okay, so muli magandang buhay po sa ating lahat. I hope you are all fine. So dear participants, kumusta po kayo? How are you feeling today? Okay, so maybe para maka-send po kayo ng inyong mga sagot, you can just simply use the chat box. You can type your answer, multiple choice po ito. Okay, so letter A, if you feel you are happy, then type A. If you are excited, then type B. If you are sad, then type letter C. Or stress, then type letter D. Also, yung ating mga nasa FB Live, you can also write your answer in the comment section. Okay, so ayan, marami na tayong mga sagot. Okay, tingnan natin yung response natin. Okay, may A. Okay, so We have a mixture of feelings and emotions. Whatever your status today, tap your shoulder and say, it's okay. Okay, natutunan ko yan kay Ma'am Marcia Rico. Thank you so much, Ma'am. Okay. So in the next 1.5 hours, okay, in the next 1.5 hours, we'll be discussing the following. First, who are the more knowledgeable others in this home-based learning? Second, the common challenges encountered by more knowledgeable others in home-based learning. And third, practical guide for for more knowledgeable others in helping children in home-based learning along A, physical fitness, socio-emotional needs, and learning content. So who are the more knowledgeable others? In general, a more knowledgeable other is a person who has a better understanding or has to an extent a higher ability than the learner. But remember that the more knowledgeable other does not have to be a teacher or adult. In the context of home-based learning, we identify the following as the more knowledgeable others. We have the parents, the siblings, and of course, the teachers and others. We have also the coaches, tutors, and sometimes even our relatives and friends. So basically, they serve as support, a scaffold, the basic principle of the sociocultural theory by Lev Vygotsky. In the first session of our home-based learning, in the first session with Ma'am Ruby Briones, she focused her discussion on the roles of parents in home-based learning. And I know the role of the parents is very tough, most especially if the parents or guardian are working. However, in most cases, it is not only the parents who gave support or act as the more knowledgeable other in helping our students in home-based learning. We have also the siblings. I know, especially in our country, the Philippines, it is very common that the ates and kuyas are the ones who help their younger siblings. Kasabay sa pagtulong nila sa kanilang mga kapatid ay ang pagtulong nila sa mga gawaing bahay. At sila rin ay nag-aaral din. How about our teachers? In what way do they serve as more knowledgeable others in home-based learning? As a result of the school closure due to the pandemic, governments have adopted alternative distance learning solution to ensure the continuity of quality education. And the teachers are the front line of ensuring the continuity of learning and effectiveness of distance learning. Kaya hindi po dahil nasa work from home ang ating mga teachers ay walang ginagawa. Our teachers have these multiple roles in supporting home-based learning. Most of the time, they are designers and implementers of teaching, facilitator of learning activities, peers of learners, family members, para ng parte ng pamilya, lalo na sa mga nasa modular learning modality. Nagbabahay-bahay sila at to deliver and retrieve the learning modules sa bawat tahanan ng ating mga estudyante. And our teachers also serve as agents of connection with parents, school, as well as communities. At madalas pa, teacher serve as emotional caregiver. In that way, really, our MKOs, or the more knowledgeable others, serve as a support to our learners, most especially in home-based learning in this time of pandemic. Baka isipin nyo, bakit mas maraming sinabi tungkol kay teacher dahil teacher ako? Hindi naman po. Actually, it is because we already discussed the roles of the parents in session number 1 with Ma'am Ruby. But later in our discussion of some practical guide, we will give more emphasis on our parents and siblings, of course, because they are the ones who are there with our students. Sila yung kasama ng ating mga estudyante sa bahay. In some cases, we have also relatives and friends. So basically, we have these people who act as a support to our students in their home-based learning. We can also include the school administrators and other stakeholders. Altogether, we are working hand in hand for quality learning of our students. Home-based learning has been existing even before the pandemic. However, most of us are not used to it. That is why we're all experiencing so many challenges. The students or learners and the more knowledgeable others, especially our parents and siblings, and even teachers and administrators. So today, we're very lucky. We have guest participants, and they are here with us to share their experiences in helping children in home-based learning. We have with us our guest participant from Ligao National High School. Allow me to introduce to you our first guest. She is a parent and at the same time, a full-time working mom. She is the designated Division Senior High School Coordinator in Ligao City Division. At the same time, designated as the Assistant Principal for the Senior High School Department at Ligao National High School. Head Teacher 5, ladies and gentlemen, we have Ma'am Brandley B. Mendoza. Hello, Ma'am Bren. Hello, Ma'am Bren.
Hello, good morning.
Ayan, thank you so much, ma'am. Opo, kumusta po kayo?
Okay lang, sir. Good morning to our guest participants, our moderator, to all participants via Zoom and FB page. Okay lang po, sir.
Opo.
As of the moment, I am reporting in Ligao National High School 4 times a week. But most of the time, I'm still in school. Even I'm supposed to be working from home due to my concurrent position. I have 2 children and the eldest is in grade 10 and the other is in kindergarten. Both are in public school.
Ayan, so talagang ang daming mga mga activities si Madam. Okay, ma'am, this is my question. Is working from home as a full-time working mom and a parent while supervising your children in home-based learning a challenge? If yes po, can you give us a specific or cite a specific challenge or challenges that you've experienced?
It's really a challenge, Sir Richard. It's most of the time it's on time management and task management. I have to do household chores and at the same time check on the work of my children. And at times, I cannot avoid checking on office and school concerns kahit nasa bahay. Usually, eto ang dialogue ko pag uwi ng bahay. Jan, tapos mo na modules mo? Ikaw rin, tapos na rin ba? O kuya, tinulungan mo ba si Nene? Oh my God, bakit ang dumi ng lababo? At times, some of the school heads will be calling, tapos sasabihin ko na I'll be sending the new modules tonight, and later magsasabi ako, anak, magsaing ka na. O, Jane, come here. O, labar na kita. And late night, i-check ko yung work ng anak ko. Then I'll be making comments. Then I'll make sure that the following day, I'll be giving reminders to them. Thank you.
Opo, thank you so much, Ma'am Bren. Ayan, so talagang, indeed, being a parent and a working mom is very difficult. Lagi tayo nagmo-multitasking. We have these challenges because home-based learning goes together with work from home arrangement. And it is the most common challenge to all our working parents. Because if the parent had a whole day free time to supervise their kids in their duties, home learning would be a much easier process. However, in most cases, all adults at home are also working. The challenges are greatest among parents of primary school age children. Sila yung may mga estudyante sa elementary grades because elementary grade pupils need more guidance from their parents and sibling. Okay? So this time, let us invite our second guest to represent the role of a student, sibling, and a friend and classmate. We have Miss Aubrey Casoko from Donsol Sorsogon and a third-year BS Ed Math student of Bicol University College of Education. Hello,
Hi, sir.
Aubrey.
Good morning po.
Hello, Aubrey. Ayan, nandito na si Aubrey. Aubrey, kumusta ka din po?
Yes po. Okay lang po,
Aubrey?
sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. It's good to hear na okay ka po. Okay, so may mga ilang katanungan lang po tayo. Aubrey, ilan kayo na magkakapatid at pang ilan ka? Hello?
Tatlo po kaming magkakapatid
Opo.
and panganay po ako.
Okay. Ilan sa inyo ang nag-aaral pa?
Lahat po kami, sir. Ako lang po yung college student and dalawa pong nasa high school.
Okay, so sige. Tinutulungan mo ba sila sa kanilang pag-aaral? Katulad ng mga assignments or
Yes.
paggawa ng module?
Opo, sir.
Okay, so I see. So may I ask Audrey, as a student and at the same time as an elder sister, what are some of the challenges you encountered specifically in this time of pandemic in our home-based learning?
One of the difficulties po na na-experience ko and for sure na-experience din po ng ibang siblings is related to my mental health po. There were times that I would feel stressed and pressured because po of the fact na kailangan ko pong pagsabayin yung responsibilities ko as a student, as a daughter, and as part of a club or an organization. And at the same time, mag-facilitate din po para po sa modules ng mga kapatid and cousins ko. And that usually happens po kapag nagpapatong-patong na po yung mga kailangan gawin and minsan nagkakaproblema din po sa resources. So yun po.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Aubrey. Ayan, napakinggan din natin ang buhay ng isang panganay na nag-aaral, tumutulong sa mga gawaing bahay at sa pag-aaral din ng kanilang mga kapatid. To all our viewers and participants, for sure you also experience those challenges shared by our guests. At ilan lang yan sa napakarami na mga posibleng challenges that we might encounter in home-based learning, especially this time of pandemic. Kukulangin tayo sa oras kung uubusin natin lahat ng challenges. Ang importante ay ang solution. That is why, allow us to share some practical guide for our MKOs or the more knowledgeable others in helping children in home-based learning. So at this point, allow me to share my screen again. Okay, in the previous session of the webinar, in session 2 with Ma'am Verge and Des, the focus was on the study habits. It's more on academic part. So this time, we'll try to talk more about the other dimensions, which are physical, socio-emotional, with additional ideas for academics, but limited only to the context of learning content, as it is an integral part of home-based learning. Yes, basically, in this time of pandemic, the immediate goal of home-based learning is, of course, to continue the teaching-learning process amidst this difficulty that we are facing right now. However, as educator, as parent, we should remember that if we want our students to succeed in their academics, we should first help them to be physically and emotionally ready. So, in this session, we'll try our best to consider our children holistically. We'll start with the physical, followed by emotional and cognitive. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, it is health that is really wealth and not pieces of gold or silver. Indeed, health is wealth. Kahit sobrang talino, sayang lang kung hindi na kaya ng ating katawan. Based on research, students with poor health have a higher probability of school failure, grade retention, and dropping out. Students with good health tend to perform better in school than those with poor health. Physical activities is an important part of supporting overall health and offers both cognitive and emotional benefits. Friends, allow me to share some practical guide in helping our children to be physically fit while they are in this home-based learning. Okay? So, we have the following. One of the most effective ways on how to maintain physically fit is to set up a daily family routine. It includes healthy eating and sleeping habits. To our parents, o sa ating mga parents na nakikinig po ngayon, to our parents, help our children establish and stick to a routine. Even though school has gone to an online and modular format, treat school days just like you would if your child was attending school as usual. This includes having them get up at the same time every day, get properly dressed, and eat a healthy breakfast. Before starting any work, see to it that our body and mind are fine and well. Di ba kahit nga sa sasakyan, pag alam natin na meron tayong long trip, we see to it that it is in a good condition. Tiga-check natin ang makina, ang brake, and we see to it na malinis para ready siya sa ating biyahe. So the same, ito po na home-based learning natin ay isang paglalakbay. Ano ang kailangan para makarating tayo sa finish line? Dapat we are ready. With full of energy, hindi low-bat. So para hindi malobat, we have another tip to all of us. Second is to have physical activity and exercise. Hindi pwede na whole day until night na nakaharap tayo sa computer or sa CP or sa module. Encourage our students or our kids and children to use breaks in the day to stretch, walk, or do any movement. It will really help. Actually, pati sa atin po mga teachers or students na nakikinig ngayon, having good health lessen the stress and anxiety. Kaya mas magiging productive tayo. If you are physically fit, o agree ba kayo diyan? Kung agree kayo, you can type a smiley in the chat box. Yung ating mga nanonood sa FB Live, you can use the, saan ba pwede dun maglagay? In the comment section. Okay, so you can type a smiley or you can just, a thumbs up as a response. Okay, ayan, may mga nag-reply na po. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so to continue, we now proceed with the second, which is about the socio-emotional aspect. Why do social and emotional health matter? Bakit ba talaga siya mahalaga? Okay? Ang answer is because children's social and emotional health affect their overall development and learning. So yun nga ang sinasabi natin, ang purpose natin is about learning. But dapat prepared muna yung bata, physically and emotionally, para mas magiging madali na lang din po yung kanyang pag-aaral. Okay? Researches indicates that children who are mentally healthy are usually in a positive mood. Di ba? They tend to be happier, show greater motivation to learn, and have positive attitude towards school, more eagerly participate in class activities, and demonstrate higher academic performance than less mentally healthy learners. Also, children with emotional difficulties tend to have low self-esteem, do poorly in school, and suffer rejection from classmates. Emotional health is just as important as their physical health and affects their capacity to develop their potential to lead a fulfilling life. So please take note of that. Friends, one of the common challenges, at kanina nabanggit din ito ng ating mga guest participant, ni Miss Aubrey, especially ng ating mga students. One of the common challenges today related to the emotional dimension of our students in home-based learning is stress and anxiety. So, when the typical routines of children or students are disrupted, it is normal for them to experience stress or anxiety. Pero pag napabayaan po natin ito, in the long run, it will lead to a more critical problem, such as depression. Mahirap yun. It is a very common nowadays, especially in this time of pandemic, that most of our students feel stressed and anxious to the point that they want to give up their studies. I think it is one of the critical issue in home-based education. That is why we as knowledgeable others, we should really consider the emotional dimension of our students. Paano natin matutulungan ang mga estudyante natin na nakikinig ngayon, pati ang mga teachers? And so maybe we can hear from another guest to share ideas and experiences on how to help our children manage stress and anxiety. So at this point, allow me to invite our second guest. Our second guest is Ma'am Mildred Lodovice. She is also a parent and at the same time, a senior high school teacher at Anislag National High School. Hello, Ma'am Mildred.
Hello, Sir Chad, and hello sa lahat ng ating mga viewers,
Opo.
sa lahat ng mga teachers. Alam ko maraming teachers ang kasama natin sa webinar na ito. Of course, sa aking mga estudyante na nanonood, mga UMS 11 and 12 student, hello, good morning sa inyong lahat. And yung topic natin is about stress. Sabi mo nga kanina, Sir Chad, yung stress kapag napabayaan could lead to a more serious problem like depression and burnout and so on. So bilang magulang, no, kagaya ko, alam ko marami ding mga magulang na nanonood sa atin. So unang-una, kailangan alam natin kung ano ang nangyayari sa ating mga anak, no? So alam dapat natin kung anong ginagawa nila, ano yung pakiramdam nila sa kasalukuyan. So in that way, we can determine if they are already suffering an anxiety or experiencing stress, no? So, ano yung dapat natin gawin bilang magulang? So, una, dapat tulungan natin yung ating mga anak how to manage their stress. So, paano natin gagawin yun? Of course, ang unang-una ay we should give them quality time, no? Quality time. Bakit? Paano natin maibibigay yung quality time with our kids, with our children? Sabi nga, hindi naman kailangan na pag sinabing quality time, 24 hours nandyan at nakikita nyo sila. Hindi naman po sa ganun. Pag sinabing quality time, ito yung mga panahon na dapat na andyan tayo, na kailangan tayo ng ating mga anak. So how to do this is, first, we need to empathize with them. No? Kapag mayroon nakikita natin silang down na down sila, problemado sila, let us listen to their worries. Let us listen to their fears and anxieties. So do not judge. Huwag na nating husgahan sa na ikaw ganito ka, ang hina-hina mo, para yan lang. So do not mention such things to our children. Dahil ito ay nakakadagdag pa po ito sa stress ng ating mga anak. And do not give too much expectations sa kanila. No? Another one is, isa sa mga nakaka-stress sa mga bata, lalo na sa mga elementary, ay yung yung content ng kanilang modules. So sometimes hindi nila alam kung paano gawin dahil hindi nila maintindihan yung instruction. So mas maganda that you should learn together. Sabi ko nga, kahit nagtatrabaho tayo, pwedeng pag-uwi mo, pwedeng kausapin yung bata at doon kayo mag-aral together. So napakasing mag-aral together kasama yung inyong anak. Ito yung nakakabawas din sa kanilang stress. Okay, next is, ang pinaka-importante is family bonding, no? Napaka-importante na itong pamaraan na ito ay malaking kabawasan para mabawasan yung stress na nararanasan ng ating mga anak. So just by eating together, no, sa pagkainan at doon kayo mag-usap, kumusta yung pag-module, kumusta yung love life kung mayroon sa mga teenagers, no, bata nag-Valentine's na ano. So importante that children, yung mga bata, lalo na yung mga teenager, open po tayo sa ating mga magulang kung ano yung pakiramdam natin, ano yung emotional burdens natin. So of course, kasama din sa pagbabanding, importante din that you attend spiritual activities. No? Ito yung magpapatatag sa emotional dimension of our children. Okay. And for those students na nakakaranas ng emotional stress, if you feel like you are down and parang ang bigat na ng inyong kalooban, find someone or somebody to talk with, like your friends, a trusted adult, of course, yung parents ninyo. And pwede din naman sa inyong mga teachers, no? Sa akin, minsan may mga nagchat-chat sa akin about their emotional situation na parang naguguluhan. So, alam ko maraming teacher na willing to listen with you, no? Sa mga emotional burdens or stress na nararanasan natin. And of course, huwag natin kakalimutan, meron tayong mga guidance counselor. So kahit wala po tayo sa school setting, the guidance counselor are always willing to help us. They are always willing to listen with you. So yun po yung mga available na pwede nating lapitan in case sa mga estudyante natin na nakakaranas ng emotional stress. So yun lang, Sir Chad, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ma'am Mildred. Si Ma'am Mildred po is actually a registered social worker and once designated also as guidance counselor when she was in Manitou National High School. Ayan. So thank you so much, Ma'am Mildred. Indeed, managing stress and anxiety is possible po siya. Ano? Lalo na pag nagtulong-tulong tayong mga MKOs or the more knowledgeable others and of course, pati ang ating mga students. Lahat ng sinabi ni Ma'am Mildred will really help to address the problem related to stress and anxiety in home-based learning. So to discuss more details, allow me to share my screen again. Okay, so yes, when parents, yung sa sharing ni Ma'am Mildred, nabanggit niya is about family bonding. Okay, so when parents and children collaborate in doing learning activities, bonding between parents and children increases as they able to spend much more time together. Diba? Such instances allow parents to become a source of comfort in easing the pain and worry and to engage in conversation with their children to help them lessen their anxiety. Kaya according to Ma'am Mildred, family bonding is really very important. Another way to help our children is by helping them safely connect with friends. Connecting with others is one of the most important home-based learning practical guide because children may experience, maybe they are experiencing loneliness, feeling of isolation or anxiety as they struggle with living and learning in social isolation. Many children will be missing the social relationships, contacts, and interaction of school. Thus, as MKOs or the more knowledgeable others, we should provide opportunities for children to engage actively in meaningful social exchange with others. But take note of the term safely, that they should safely connect. Baka kasi masubrahan, lalo na sa social media. Take note, lahat ng sobra ay masama. Okay? So another one is provide a support system. Encourage your child to come to you with any question or concerns. Talk each day with your child about his or her activities. Dito nararamdaman ng ating mga anak na we are willing to help and assist and support them. That is why it is being one of the more knowledgeable other. If you're a parent, guardian, tutor, or sibling, and actually even teachers, we should be always be friendly, approachable, and accommodating. Kasi kung takot sila sa atin, nako, they will never share their problems. Diba? Kanina sabi ni Mildred, sa mga estudyante, lumapit, ikwento. Kailan kanino kikwento kung takot sila. Diba? So developing right emotional attachment to our kids or tutees or siblings is very important, especially at this time of pandemic. One parent told me in the interview that she's always irritated every time he is helping his son in doing the task in module. Most of the time daw, nag-aaway sila. So mahirap po yun. It will add to the stress and anxiety sa ating mga anak or kapatid or sa ating estudyante. Pero sabi ng na-interview ko po na parent, mabuti naman that the parent realized, after a while, na-realize niya and he told me na mas na-manage na niya ngayon yung pagtuturo sa anak, sa pagtuturo doon sa anak niya sa pag-aaral na mga modules kasi nasa modular elementary yung kanyang anak. Okay? Based on research, our children benefit socially, emotionally, and academically when we as the MKOs, parents, teachers, siblings, if we intentionally create a close, trusting relationship, thus consistently offering warmth, affection, respect, and care is essential. Our children need to cultivate a sense of belonging. The relationship of belonging is fundamental to learning. And in times of uncertainty, like in this pandemic, it is even more important to sustain. Friends, connection and support system is not only for our children, pati po sa atin ng mga MKOs. Tayo, mga teachers or parents and all other MKOs, because sometimes we also feel the stress and anxiety. If you are a teacher, stay connected with other teachers and the school administration. If you are a parent, stay connected with other parents, the local community, the school, and in your workplace. From time to time, share worries, advice, and joys. It will help really in developing the socio-emotional dimension, not only of our students or our siblings, but even tayo po na mga MKOs. Tandaan po natin in this time of pandemic, hindi lang tayo ang nahihirapan, kundi buong mundo. We are experiencing what we are experiencing right now is also true in other places, actually around the world. Ito yung laging sinasabi ni Ma'am Epi sa aming department pag kami nagbi-meeting, na itong nararamdaman natin hindi lang sa atin, kundi buong mundo. And actually, I have a friend in Denmark, and we share the same worries and problems in line with learning in this pandemic. O kung nanonood po kayo dyan from Denmark, hello po sa inyo. And of course, sa lahat din ng ating mga viewers and participants, samahan niyo po kami hanggang 11 a.m. And of course, sa isa pang webinar sa darating na Marso with Ma'am Karen as our guest speaker for the topic Best Practices. Okay? So ayan. So may mga ilang tips na tayo nabibigay. Another tip to parents is we should respect differences. Ayan. So every child has his or own unique talents and abilities. We never pwedeng is it in academics or others. So resist the urge to compare your child to friends, siblings. Instead, honor your child's accomplishment and provide support and encouragement for the challenges that they are facing. Because children are also experiencing stress when we set too high expectations and standard. So pwede natin gawin ay, we can give effective praise. Sometimes families try to teach socio-emotional skills by commenting on negative behavior. But don't forget to catch your child doing something good. Praising good behavior often works in developing the socio-emotional dimension of our children. We can also give rewards. Some children may benefit from a reward system to help with behavior or motivation to complete the task. But see to it that the reward should not be the focus of doing the task. Also, try not to get into a power struggle with your child over homework. If the child is refusing to complete the task, give them time to calm down before getting back to work. Okay? And lastly, another very effective guide for us, more knowledgeable others, especially to the parents, is to be a role model in managing the stress. Because stress is really contagious. Kapag lagi tayong maingay at stress sa bahay, nakukuha din yan ng mga bata. Nakakahawa. That is why another tip that we can share is that when we feel angry, we're not in a good mood, it is better na mag-cool down muna tayo kasi posible pa na mabalingan natin ang ating mga anak. According to a psychotherapist, sabi niya, we can't live a stressful life. Then teach stress management. So it is important to show to our kids how to relax and effectively deal with stress. Para kahit hindi natin sabihin, since nakikita nila, they will also imitate or emulate. Sa ating mga participants and viewers, nandyan pa ba kayo? I hope. Sige. Kung nandyan pa ba kayo, you can again send us a thumbs up. Okay. So, we have already some tips for parents. And of course, sa iba ating mga MKOs. How about to our school administrators and teachers? I'm sure they also play a vital role in helping our students. So at this point, allow me to stop first my sharing. So at this point, may we invite once again our guest, Ma'am Bren, the head teacher and assistant principal of Ligao National High School, to share some of her experiences and tips in line with socio-emotional needs of our students as one of the administrators. So may I request Ma'am Bren? Okay, nandito na si Ma'am Bren. Hello, Ma'am Bren. Once again, thank you so much.
Hello po, sir.
Opo.
When I experienced difficulty in coping with my son's behavior na takot na makipag-usap sa mga di kilala, syempre po, concern ako doon sa anak ko, and at the same time, buti ako napansin ko. What more doon sa mga parents na hindi pa masyado naging sensitive to what their children were experiencing. So I asked our SSG advisor to plan for an activity for the students while di pa nag-start yung school year. So in July 1 to July 31, the SSG conducted video series every week. May webinar for an hour, vlog for 2 to 3 minutes, and trivia for 2 to 3 minutes. Yung sample topics nila, we had exploring Google account, video conferencing apps, Google Classroom, Edmodo, tips for online learning, yung positive bucket list for a day, the learning habits, what is in my school bag, my study table in the new normal, and yung sa trivia, the school history, student organizations, school offices or important landmarks in the school, and the school programs. Natuloy din po yung Ngirilalaan 2020. It's a digital freshman acquaintance and orientation program via LNHS SSG page. We let the students feel that the school still exists. Staying connected with them through different activities, even how simple it is, still works and will really work. The school admin should adjust their 5Ps. Sabi nga, PPAs or 5Ps sa amin, the programs, projects, policies, practices, and procedures to cope with the challenges of the new normal. Sabi nga po, sir, algo es algo. Something is something. Rather than menos es nada, less is nothing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Bren. Ayan, so indeed, school administrators play a vital role in helping our children in their emotional needs by preparing the school, the teachers, and the students to be ready for this home-based learning. So ngayon naman, for our teachers, being one of the more knowledgeable others, in what way we can be of help to our students minimize the pressure and the stress. So at this point, allow me to share some tips also for teachers. Okay. So for teachers, we have also some tips para sa ating mga teachers. First is we should remain mindful of the pressure that the students facing at home, especially now in light of pandemic. Sometimes nakakalimutan natin na most of the students are also helping their siblings and at the same time doing household chores in helping the parents earn a living. That is why another tip that we can share to our teachers is to just give enough learning tasks. Not too many, not too few. Because of course, we don't like to sacrifice the quality. We want our students to be on a par with the standards. However, research has shown that caring for younger siblings can develop life skills like self-reliance, resilience, and a sense of responsibility. So, in this time of pandemic, kumbaga, hindi lang yung academics ang dapat natin i-consider, but other aspect. Because developing the soft skills is also necessary. And I believe that it is one of the advantages of this pandemic. We learn how to be more self-reliant, resilient, and responsible. Ngayon pati na panahon, actually, ang focus ng lahat is survival. We are in a state of emergency. And third is we can adapt the synchronous learning opportunity, especially those who are in the online and blended learning, where students are given what they need to finish their work on their own schedule. Lalo na sa ating mga nasa senior high school students or nasa college. This will reduce the issue on the lack of technological tools. Halimbawa, sa bahay, may tatlong magkakapatid in sharing only one device like laptop. Mabuti nga kung may laptop. Most of our students have only cell phone. That is why some administrators really advise to minimize the synchronous online activities. Hindi naman totally aalisin, but to minimize. Next, teachers can give enough time for online quizzes. Kasi iba na yung dati. Nung nasa face-to-face, 1 hour is enough. Ngayon, we need to give some more parang additional time Marami kasi ang mga factors na dapat natin i-consider. The internet, the gadget, and others. We can hold quizzes, for example, the whole morning or whole afternoon. Okay lang siya, but we can set a time if how many hours they will be given to take the test. Okay? And another tip that we can share is this is based on my personal account is to give the material or task on the specified scheduled time. As much as possible, yung oras ng klase natin. It will help our students manage their time well and to have rest. When everything is going smoothly, following our class schedule, it will be a great help for students to lessen their worries and stress. Okay? And lastly, to our teachers, remember, everything takes more time. Be patient with ourselves and our students because we are all adjusting to this new way of learning. Just take it easy and one at a time. Kasi I know na hindi lang ang estudyante nakakaranas ng stress, but also teachers. Kaya kailangan natin talaga alagaan ang ating sarili para sa bata at para sa bayan. Okay, so ayan. Ngayon naman, punta tayo sa ating mga estudyante. Kasi based on the pre-registration, I observed na marami mga participants din na students. And also, take note, kahit gaano pa kagusto ng ating mga MKOs, ng ating teachers, ng ating parents, ng ating siblings, na tulungan tayo to lessen the stress and anxiety, pero wala tayong ginagawa bilang estudyante para tulungan yung ating sarili, wala pa rin. Diba? So at this point, maybe we can invite once again our student guest, Miss Aubrey.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, hi Aubrey. Okay, so okay, welcome back. Thank you. Okay. So Aubrey, kanina in your sharing, nabanggit mo na sometimes you experience the feeling of being stressed and exhausted, anxious because of the situation, and most especially that you're also a student and at the same time serving as knowledgeable other to your siblings. So may I ask, how did you manage this stress and anxieties?
Personally po, sir, when I started experiencing that kind of struggle, I realized that time management is very important. Para magawa ko po in an organized way yung mga kailangan kong gawin, I create a weekly plan or weekly schedule para po sa mga gagawin ko. And hindi lang din po yung mga gagawin ko ang included, but also my time to take a rest and to reach out to other people. Reaching out to other people can help kasi you can really have a two-way conversation with them wherein you can also receive pieces of advice and tips on how to overcome challenges that can cause stress and anxiety. Yes po, sir.
Okay, thank you, Miss Aubrey. Yes, time management and having rest, and of course seeking help from others are very important. To manage your time well, you should have a routine. Establish a routine. It will start with following a specific schedule. It will help you manage your time well and develop the soft skill of time management. So yan yung focus ng ating session number 2 ng ating webinar with Ma'am Verge. So hindi ko na uulitin, pero I would like to remind our students that since there are many tasks and challenges in home-based learning in this time of pandemic, we should plan on how to overcome it. Kasi hindi naman pwede na hindi na lang magbibigay si teacher ng learning task para walang stress. So hindi yun po pwede. Take note, my dear students, challenges and difficulties are an opportunity to grow. As Albert Einstein once said, in every difficulty lies opportunity. Okay? So before we proceed with the last issue in home-based learning, allow me to share some practical guide on how to establish a routine, especially for our students. Okay? So, first is know the importance of establishing routine in managing time efficiently. Kasi papahalagahan natin yan kung alam natin ang mabuti na maidudulot sa atin. Di ba kahit nga sa ibang bagay, kapag alam natin ang importansya, for sure, bibigyan natin siya ng halaga. O kahit maging sa tao o sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. Belated Happy Valentine's sa inyo po ulit lahat. Okay? Sa ating mga magulang, siblings na sa ating mga magulang at siblings po and other MKOs na nakikinig ngayon, explain to your kids or younger siblings the importance of establishing a routine and managing time efficiently. This is the best start because motivation should come from within ourselves, sa ating sarili mismo. Okay? Second is to set a realistic schedule. I know most of us doing multitasking. Maging estudyante, maging teacher, lahat yan. Okay? However, in most cases, yan ang nagiging cause po ng stress. So set what is manageable in our capacity. Sa mga invitations or what, maybe we should learn to say no sometimes, okay? And also, yung kaya lang natin within the specific period kapag gagawa tayo ng schedule. If you observe that you learn better at different time of the day, adjust the schedule accordingly. The goal, after all, is for you to continue learning, not to maintain school schedules. Anyway, in most cases, the teacher gave enough time in accomplishing your module and other tasks. And another one is discern, which is urgent. Hindi pwede na kung ano ang gusto mo lang na gawin, yun ang gagawin. So take note, may mga deadlines na binibigay ang ating mga teachers. So use this deadline as a guide. Okay? Another one is in establishing a routine, take breaks. Maglaan ka din na may break. Allow for some free time to stretch your mind and body, or just relax. Schedule a time during the school day for lunch, for snack, and appropriate breaks. And another one is build in time for creativity. Make time for music, di ba? Arts, and other creative subjects. It will help. Another one is, so yung mga mahilig diyan sa telenovela, okay? Limit TV watching, gaming, and social media. Kasi alam natin na marami tayong gagawin, so limit din pag may time. Di ba? Do you agree? Friends? So we should put limitations sa ating mga ibang mga activities, okay? And lastly, be consistent. Consistency is very important. Train yourself to follow what you've planned. Para sa ating mga MKOs, especially parents, we can just share this practical guide in establishing routine to our children or siblings. Okay? So I hope, in a way, we share some tips not only for our MKOs, but for all the students and children as well. Marami kasi sa mga participants natin din ang estudyante ngayon. Okay, so to proceed with the last part of our session, since I know all of us also have difficulties related to academics. And the common problem on academics is, of course, based on my interview. Kasi nag-conduct ako ng a sort of survey sa mga parents, sa mga teachers, and siblings. At ang common problem and challenge faced by our MKOs along academics ay isa po ang nag-top is about the issue on the content. So sabi ko, di yun ang ating bibigyan ng pansin. Ano ang issue about content? Kasi nga, since sa bahay, mostly, ang parents or sibling ang nagtuturo sa mga anak at kapatid, dalawang bagay po ang posible. Isa, limot na ng ating mga magulang ang lesson. Unang ating mga elder siblings, kasi nag-iba na ang curriculum. Katulad ng sharing ng isang parent na na-interview ko, sabi niya, pagdating daw sa math, sabi ko, aray. Pagdating daw sa math and science, sabi niya, nahihirapan siya. Hindi niya alam kung paano tuturuan yung anak doon sa lesson. Meron naman ako na interview na estudyante as a sibling. Ang problema din naman niya ay mahina din daw siya, nahihirapan din daw po siya sa English, sa essay, ganun. Yung anak niya, mostly daw, ganun din yung assignment. So, problema nga. Okay? So, the reason is of course, alimbawa, yung isa na kausap ko ay teacher, hindi nangangahulugan po na teacher tayo ay alam na natin lahat. Mostly, ang subject na tinuturuan natin, yun din more or less ang ating master. Yung hindi natin tinuturo, pwede nakalimutan na natin. O how much more doon sa ating mga parents, di ba? At ang pangalawa po is, mas mahirap na sitwasyon. Hindi natin maikakaila na may mga magulang tayo na hindi nakapag-aral. Kaya yun ang mas problema. So paano natin sila matuturuan, matutulungan? So to our MKOs, allow me to share 3 tips along learning content. Okay? So first, communicate. Open communication is very important. Communicate with the teachers for any concern related to learning tasks. Our teachers, advisors, are more than willing to connect with parents and guardians. To the parents, make sure that we are always updated with the announcement and communication from the school. We can also give feedbacks in the difficulty encountered in managing the learning task in the module, or in managing the online learning platform, or any concern related to the learning of our children. Kung ikaw po nanonood ngayon na hindi naman parent, halimbawa, ikaw ay estudyante, but you are, kumbaga, helping your siblings, you can also do the same, the role of communicating with parents and the school, and also to the advisor. Kasi makakatulong yon. Kasi kung hindi natin alam, tapos may problema, tapos sinarili na lang natin, hindi natin masusolusyonan. So contact the school. Okay? Another one is take advantage of remote learning opportunities. Non-profit and educational organizations are offering free resources such as instructional videos, live streams, webinars. So the parents and teachers, we can use it. Take advantage of these available materials. They will help a lot in studying the lesson. For example, in math, we have the video lessons in Khan Academy, in YouTube, and in others. Ang daming mga available na resources, and also attending webinars. Katulad nito, this is also an opportunity for us to learn. And last is seek help from others. O sabi ko nga kanina, di ba? Try not to get frustrated if you don't understand what your child is learning, because the school curriculum has changed a lot over years. Seeking help from other MKOs is the best way. Kanino tayo pwedeng lumapit? Pwede naman bagalimbawa yung ating magulang na hindi siya nakapag-aral o hindi niya alam yung content. Pwede naman lumapit, halimbawa, kay tito, kay tita, kay cousin. Okay? At kung sinong relatives natin. Ang kailangan lang ay lumapit at humingi ng tulong. It is true sa ating mga elder siblings, di ba? Katulad nga sa sharing ni Miss Aubrey, hindi na niya na-share ngayon, pero na-interview ko siya previously, na sabi niya, pag may mga hindi rin siya alam, nagtatanong siya sa kanyang mga kaibigan, kaklase at iba pa. Dito papasok yung sabi natin kanina na support system. Support system is not only for the emotional aspect. You can also create a group na ang purpose is academic, especially along content. I know our students na ginagawa nila mostly. So also to our parents, you can do the same. Collaboration among parents and teachers and students is very important. And always remember that asking help doesn't mean that you are weak, but instead, you want to remain strong. So I hope in this little way, nakatulong po kami sa inyo, sa ating mga viewers at sa ating mga participants. So before we end this session, may I once again invite our guest to give some words of encouragement to our students, parents, teachers, and to all of us. So maybe we can start from our student guest. We have Miss Aubrey, then followed by Ma'am Mildred and Ma'am Ren.
Hello po ulit. Sir, I will just share my realization nung naging knowledgeable other ako for my siblings and my cousins. And that is that your willingness to help them, your siblings, your cousins, or kung sino man na tinutulungan mo, and your readiness to teach to them are two different things. Your willingness to help them can be directly affected by your relationship with them. If you have developed good relationship or communication with them, it would probably become much easier for you to have that sense of willingness to take such responsibility. On the other hand, your readiness is mainly influenced by your own situation or your own status on the different aspects of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, and emotionally. If you do not feel that sense of readiness within you, we should not expect our siblings or cousins or kung sino man na tinuturuan natin to also have that sense or that feeling of ease as we do our part half-heartedly and half-mindedly. And to become ready means stuffing ourselves with all the things that we need as we become the facilitator of learning for them. And we should be reminded that it is not only our mind that we should be preparing, but also our emotions, because it will be an emotional battle between you and those that tinuturuan mo. That is why being willing and being ready, although these two are different things, it plays an important role for us to become the knowledgeable other that these learners need.
Thank you, Miss Aubrey. So thank you so much. And this time, may we also hear from Ma'am Mildred.
Okay, Chad, thank you so much. First, I would like to thank you, Sir Chad, for inviting me here in this very informative webinar. It was indeed a very good experience for me, listening to your talk and discussion and sa sharing ng aking mga kasama. So for our parents, students, and teachers watching us from the start up to this point, let us embrace the positive change, the positive side of this new system in our education, the home-based learning. Just what Ofra said, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. So, dear parents, let us continue to support our children. Stand with them whatever happened. To our student, just do your best. Always do your best kasi kayo ang mag-harvest. Kung ano yung ginawa ninyo ngayon on your home-based learning, yun din ang aanihin ninyo. Kung ginawa yung best nyo, of course, maganda din yung produkto na kakalabasan yan. You will earn high grades, di ba? No? So, importante, you enjoy while learning in whatever type of learning modality you engage with. Learn to manage your stress positively. At tandaan, dalawang paraan ng pag-manage ng stress. If it's either mag-withdraw ka, you fight or you flight, no? Okay, so just stay happy while learning. God bless us all and belated Happy Valentine's.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Mildred. Okay, and of course, we have Ma'am Ren.
First, sir, thank you for inviting me and to my alma mater, kung saan ako nagsimula kinder hanggang graduate school. There are things we should start, and sustain. It is a challenge for us KOs, knowledgeable others, to make our learners be self-motivated. I always believe in SMILE. Self-motivated individual learns excellently. And for us also to COPE, cope, create opportunities for people to excel. May all of us find meaning in every step we take And there is no reason to stop. We should always lift our foot forward because this is para sa bata, para sa bayan. God bless everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Aubrey, Ma'am Mildred, and Ma'am Bren. Your presence and insights are highly appreciated. Okay, friends, to end this session, allow me to share these 3 points as we face all the challenges. Okay, first is to adapt to this new normal. Take note that, as the saying goes, the only permanent in this world is change. We should learn how to adapt to the ever-changing world. According to Charles Darwin, it is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change. So first is adapt to this new normal. Second is make a positive change. In this time of difficulty, we should try and be our best selves as teachers, as parents, as students, and as administrators. Let us ensure that when we come through this, we have a better world. And lastly, my dear friends, don't forget, take care of ourselves. Take care of yourself. If we do not take care of our own physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual need, we have the less energy, space, and patience to connect with and care our children. Kasi kung papabayaan natin sarili natin, sino ang gagawa nito? So, kinakailangan talaga. And remember, as we adapt to these challenges, we have the power to come and become more self-reliant, resilient, responsible, and strong. Friends, sabi nga ni Ma'am Marcia, the only secret of having a happy life is to have a balance in everything, a balance of work, play, and free time. Okay? And talking about helping our students, our children, take note. Helping our children and students is not the sole responsibility of our teachers or ng parents alone or ng school administrator alone. We need each one of us. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a children. Engaged parents are a key factor in helping students and schools to succeed. With schools, families, and communities working together as partners, students' achievement is at hand. Together we can make it. Together we rise as one. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Sir Richard. And to our guest participants, Ma'am Bren, Ma'am Mildred, Ma'am Aubrey, thank you for your very comprehensive sharing and for your very interesting discussion of the topic. So I am sure that all of our participants, both in the Zoom room and in the various Facebook pages, really learned a lot from your valuable insights that were shared this morning. So before we proceed to the Q&A, allow me to give a brief recap of our very enriching session. So sabi nga ni Sir Richard, instead of focusing on the problems, we must focus on the solutions. So he gave us some very important tips, very important solutions to common problems in today's very challenging home-based learning. So sabi ni Sir Richard and the other participants, the other speakers, they said that it is important to be well-rounded so that children can excel in this new normal. So we must help our children keep physically healthy by practicing good health habits. So in particular, Sir Richard said that we should treat every school day as normal. Parang normal lang, kahit online or kahit blended. Every school day must be treated like a school day. So we must also remember that socio-emotional needs matter. So children need to be emotionally ready and motivated to learn before we can expect them to do well in school. And another thing is communication is key, so that the more knowledgeable other will know the concerns of the child and how they can best offer their support. And lastly, do not forget to catch the child doing good and give praises and rewards for these appropriate behaviors. So, for teachers and other more knowledgeable others, do not forget to take care of yourself so that you will also have the energy and the strength to take care of the children under your care. And lastly, for our students, time management is key. So don't forget to take breaks in between doing your tasks so that you will not feel overwhelmed with all the things that you need to do. So I think that wraps up the most important points that were shared with us this morning. So we come now to our Q&A session. At this point, may I invite again those who have questions to type your queries in the chat box or in the comment section of the Zoom room or in the Facebook pages where you are currently tuning in. For those participants who have joined us here in the Zoom meeting, if you want to be recognized, pwede din po yun. But please, as I said a while ago, please push or select the raise hand button so that I will recognize you first before you can turn on your microphone and your camera and you will share. So to get the ball rolling, allow me to read some of the questions which we received during the pre-registration period. So nakapili na po kami ng questions. Babasahin ko isa muna and then I will be waiting for other questions to come in. So I think this question can be answered either by si Ma'am Bren or si Ma'am Mildred. So this is specifically addressed for teachers. I think this is a very interesting and very relevant question. Sabi dito, paano po ang dapat gagawin if the parents have no capacity to teach the child at home? Meaning na it's a reality na merong mga parents na illiterate or hindi nakapag-aral. In that case, ano po yung dapat gawin bilang mga teacher? Paano po natin matutulungan yung mga bata na walang proper guidance at home due to circumstances? So, Ma'am Mildred or Ma'am Bren, pwede po siguro kayong mag-share or pwede rin si Sir Richard.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige po. And maybe based on my discussion kanina, nabanggit nga natin na dalawa talaga ang posibilidad about learning content. Pwedeng nakalimutan na ng mga magulang yung lesson dahil iba na ang curriculum ngayon. Or another one is talagang hindi nila alam kasi hindi nga nakapag-aral. That is the reality. And we identify tips actually para doon sa magulang, for example, na talagang hindi siya nakapag-aral, siguro ay ang magagawa niya ay pwede siyang humingi ng saklolo sa kanyang relatives. Halimbawa, for sure, meron din siyang pamangkin na mas parang older na din doon sa kanyang anak na at nakapag-aral, so pwede siya humingi doon ng tulong. Okay? Pwede din naman siya humingi ng tulong doon sa iba pa na relatives nila na more or less since we consider the health protocol, so more or less yung malapit na lang muna doon sa kanila. Okay? So pwedeng isa po sa paraan ay humingi talaga sila ng tulong. Pinakamalapit ay hingi sila ng tulong doon sa kanilang relatives na more or less makakatulong po. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think Ma'am Bren has something to say. Yes po, Madam. I see that you have opened your camera.
Yes po, ma'am. Usually po, yung teachers, malaki ang role niya. The first is, every week, pag nagbibigay sila ng modules or tasks, dapat very clear, very comprehensive ang weekly home learning plan. Nakasulat doon ano ang expected output nila, ano yung activity na dapat gawin nila. Kasi parang through the weekly home learning plan, nagko-communicate na si teacher. Then meron pang pwedeng consultation hours. Kasi yung mga bata magaling sa cellphone, alam na nila kung paano mag-video chat, video call. So, yung school administration, pwede silang mag-set ng consultation hours. Tapos sabi nga namin, yung tip namin is, kasi yung may mga teachers na entertain sila hanggang 11 in the evening. Sabi ko, hanggang kailan yan nyo masusustain? Baka next time hanap-hanapin nyo ng mga estudyante. So, may limitation pa rin kung hanggang kailan. And ang teachers merong tinatawag na individual monitoring tool. So, from time to time, dapat chine-check. And at the same time, yung mga department heads po namin, pinapa-join namin sa mga GCs nila, sa mga group chats, mga Google Classrooms, for them to monitor also. And very effective po, writing letters. Very effective pa rin siya. Hindi siya obsolete pa. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam, for that insight. So I think we can move on to our next question. And I think it will be interesting for this to ask for the perspective of our student and maybe po as a parent. So sa dalawa nating guest participants, so si Ma'am Mildred or si Ma'am Bren, as parents po and as a student, how do we encourage children to still have healthy social interaction during this time of the pandemic? I think this is one of the very big struggles talaga, lalo na't bawal lumabas yung mga bata. So, medyo nagkakaroon ng stunting sa kanilang social development. As a student or as a parent, paano ba natin masisigurado that we still maintain these so-called healthy relationship with other people? So sige po, siguro nag-iisip pa ang ating mga guest participants. Ma'am Mildred, are you ready to share your answer? Ma'am, you are muted po. Wala. Ayan.
Okay, sige. Para doon para paano natin masisigurado na okay pa rin yung ating social relationship. First, sa family natin yun makukuha. Dahil hindi nga bawal nga lumabas, no? May kanta nga, di ba? Bawal lumabas kasi lockdown. Importante na maganda yung relationship within the family. Kasi yun yung basic unit, yun yung unang kasama natin, no? Sa loob ng bahay. Maganda kung nakakapagkwento yung mga anak natin sa atin bilang mga magulang, na i-share nila yung dreams and kahit kasi, dito kasi sa amin, kahit hindi sila nakakapunta ng school, hindi nakakalabas, still nagkukwentuhan kami ng mga dreams nila in life, kung anong gusto nilang mangyari sa buhay nila. And at the same time, yung cousin ng mga anak ko, nandito lang naman sa may kalapit sa amin. So naglalaro sila and they are having a conversation na hindi naman talaga laging dapat nasa loob lang ng bahay. Maganda na pwede din gamitin yung group chat. Pwede mag-create ng group chat yung mga magkakaibigan at doon sila magkwentuhan. No, pwedeng mag-video call. So yung ginagawa namin sa aming family, kahit malayo yung mga kapatid ko, yung magpipinsan, lagi silang nagvi-video chat. No, updating of what is their dreams, yung anong ginagawa nila, anong gusto nilang gawin, anong laro ang nakauso ngayon. So importante pa rin po yun. In that way, social aspect of the child will be still lumalago pa rin.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
po, Madam. I agree with that. I think we can make use of technology, maximize the use of technology, especially during this time of the pandemic. So, at this point, gusto ko munang magbasa ng mga messages of appreciation and support from our participants. So, one participant, si Miss Margie Lolo Baldo, said, "Thank you, Sir Richard, for all the insights that you have shared to us. God bless." And then another participant said, "Thank you po, sir, and to all the speakers for sharing your knowledge to us. It's really a big help to us teachers, especially during this time of the pandemic." And yun po ang so far ang mga comments na nababasa ko. So we have another question here from our participant in the Zoom room, si Sir Eric. Ang tanong niya po dito, um, ang tanong niya po dito is, how can we approach those students or children who are antisocial? They don't want to talk to anybody, even sa parents nila. So, how can we help them kung medyo antisocial daw po ang bata? So, for the guest participants, if you want to answer, I think we have a message here. Sabi ni Sir Pop, this can better be addressed daw po in our session 4. Sa session 4. So, i-reserve na namin po itong question mo, Sir Eric. So, mag-pre-register ka na po. Doon masasagot ang iyong katanungan about if the child is antisocial. So, I think po, si Ma'am Aubrey ba, gusto niyang sumagot sa question natin kanina? Miss Aubrey, if you want to answer, okay, sige po. Please, yes, madam, you are recognized.
Okay. For example po, every time na may sessions po kami ng mga kapatid ko and ng mga cousins ko para po turuan ko po sila sa mga modules nila. From time to time, may mga breaks po kami, and dun sa mga breaks na yon, sinaset aside po muna namin yung mga yung about sa content ng modules nila, and dun sa time na yon, I try to reach out sa kanila po and talk about other things para makarelate din po ako sa kanila, and malaman ko po yung mga na-experience nila other than the pressure na nafe-feel nila po dahil sa mga modules na ginagawa nila. And through that way po, nagsishare po sila sa akin, and at the same time, nakukuha ko po yung loob nila para sila po rin mismo, hindi sila mahiya sa akin and maging uncomfortable. And dahil doon, kahit sila po mismo, since 3 po sila na tinuturuan ko, sila mismo, nag-uusap-usap din po sila, and mas na-boost po and na-develop yung relationship po nila with each other. Kaya kahit na hindi po sila nakakalabas ng bahay, doon lang po sila sa community namin, parang hindi naka-compromise yung social aspect po nila sa life nila.
Thank you, Miss Aubrey. So, I would like to read a very interesting perspective here from the Busi ILS High School page. I think he is a high school student from the ILS, Mr. JJ Colar. Sabi niya, for my social interaction, I installed apps that can allow me to talk, video call or chat with somebody else. So strangers, nako, ang ano ko dito, JJ, you have to be careful with strangers, okay? But yun yung yun yung way niya to cope. Chat with someone in a specified location. So sabi niya, it helped him unwind and to relax. And another is from Sir Ronnie Dagta Dawat. Sabi niya, thank you sir for inviting me in this webinar. Malaking tulong po ito sa mga estudyante. So another question, I think this one is also very relevant because we have participants who are administrators. So if you are here in the Zoom room also, please feel free if you want to share a particular strategy kung paano nyo po ito ginagawa. And for our guest speakers, I think this question is particularly directed to Ma'am Bren. Madam, as an administrator po, how can you encourage your teachers to keep track or monitor their students or your pupils in relation to the learning process?
Pardon, ma'am. Sorry.
Sige po, madam. One more time. The question is, as an administrator, how do you encourage the teachers under your supervision to keep track or monitor their students or pupils in relation to their learning process?
In our school, ma'am, we give schedules to our teachers. We make sure that there is enough time for them to monitor learning and at the same time, the assessment given to our students. Hindi kasi pwede na reproduction of modules, hindi kasi pwedeng sorting lang sila all the time. Kasi we are catering 7,000 students. So, ilan doon, swerte po sa senior high school because most of them are in MDLD, ibig sabihin, modular distance learning, digital. Pero still the same, checking their output, having the consultation hours really takes time. So, yung schedules nila, we make sure na susunod. And at the same time, before the weekends, nagmi-meet po kami to improve the task given to our teachers. And we always listen, open lagi ang communication namin with the teachers na dati kasi through the department heads lang. But this time, direct na sa amin na assistant principals and at the same time sa aming principal. Whatever they want to suggest and at the same time, yung time na given sa kanila, we make sure na enough po talaga. Kasi nagre-reklamo po talaga yung mga teachers. And to really, para ma-help sila is for us to listen, for us to make sure na, ma'am, hindi na po kaya ng mga estudyante mag-submit ng portfolio. And with 8 portfolios, sabi ko, hindi pwedeng hindi rin mag-submit. Sabi ko, at least 4. So we always meet sa middle. Ano yung pwede, ano yung hindi pwede, ano yung dapat. So we really make sure we really listen to the teachers. Hindi na pwede yung admin lang lagi. It's always making them part of the team and it will work. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam. I agree with that. As somebody belonging to the rank and file, I think it's really very important na open ang line ng communication between the admin and the teachers. Thank you for that insight, Madam. And by the way po, I stand corrected. I apologize. Si Sir JJ Colar pala is a BOGS student from the graduate school siya. So hindi po siya ILS student. Nagkataon lang na sa ILS page po siya naka-tune in ngayon. So we have another question from the ILS High School page from Miss Angel Reginaldo. So I think this in particular, this is for Sir Chad. Sabi po kasi ni Sir Richard kanina, baka hindi daw po nakakatulong yung parent sa mga anak nila sa modules kasi baka hindi na po maalala or baka di po nakapag-aral yung parent. Ang gusto ko pong ask po sa relative that may help. So, parang ang ano dito is malayo yung bata sa relative. And what if daw po distant ang student? So, meaning malayo ang loob, hindi siya close doon sa relative niya. In that instant po, paano yon? Kung malayo physically and emotionally sa relatives na pwedeng makatulong, what can we do or what can the teachers do or the community do, Sir Richard?
Okay, sige, thank you po, Ma'am Kat. Opo. Una, depende sa anong grade level ng bata. For example, if the student is already in high school, more or less, ang ating mga students, high school students ngayon, they have like group chat, collaboration with his or her classmates. So, pwede din naman na doon na lang sa mga kaklase niya. But the problem, ang sabi dito, parang may hesitation to ask help. So this is related to the issue, to the concern kanina sa question about antisocial. Actually, in this time of pandemic, we have so many problems, struggles. Kung ilalayo pa natin yung sarili natin sa iba, mas makakadagdag yun sa problema. So siguro sa estudyanteng ito po, kinakailangan ng tulong ng kanyang magulang, ng kanyang nanay, na kailangan makausap din yung bata na hindi pa pwede na ilalayo niya yung sarili niya, na parang mag-hesitate siya humingi ng tulong. Bakit hindi siya hingi ng tulong? So sa ating mga estudyante po, sabi ko nga kanina, asking help is hindi ito nangangahulugan na tayo ay mahina. Diba? So wag tayo mag-atubili. Pwede tayo din lumapit sa teacher, sa ating mga kaklase. Sa ating mga magulang naman, kinakailangan maging vigilant. May mga estudyante po talaga na nagdadalawang isip at parang nagkukulong na lang, sinasarili niya. To our students, please take note po na in this time of pandemic, in this time of home-based learning, kumbaga hindi ka po nag-iisa. Diba? Sabi ko nga kanina in my concluding statement na in this situation, kinakailangan ang pagtutulungan ng lahat. So kung ilalayo natin yung sarili natin, ayaw natin lumapit, magkakaroon po talaga tayo ng problema. Our teachers, our friends, our classmates are always willing to help us. So maybe kinakailangan lang maging bukas din yung bata na maging open na din siya sa kanya mga kaklase, sa kanya mga kaibigan, para at least kahit papano, ma-survive natin ito. Okay? So, thank you po.
Thank you, Sir Richard. So, this point, I would like to read another insight from a participant here in the Zoom room. He's Mr. Jmar Bonaobra. Sabi niya, Ma'am Brenly, I agree with you kanina when you said that consultation hours should be with time limit. And that I think as much as possible, it should be within work hours lang. Kasi teachers need to look after their health also. Pag nagkasakit kasi sila, mas lalo na hindi magagawa ang trabaho. Teaching is very demanding pa naman these days. So no time to get sick and almost no time to rest. Yes, that is true. So time check, it's 10:51 and we only have until 11 a.m. So I will just be reading out the last two questions here in the Zoom room before we wrap up our proceedings. So one more question. Sabi dito, I have a question po. Is it still necessary to have an MKO if the learner is an independent learner? So if yes po, in what way? If no naman, bakit siguro hindi na kailangan? Anybody po can answer? Si Ma'am Bren, si Ma'am Mildred, or si Sir Richard? Ma'am Bren, yes po. I see that you have your camera open.
Experience ko po kasi sa anak kong grade 10, hindi na niya kailangan. Independent na siya, pero kailangan pa rin talaga niya ng parent to check kung nagawa niya o hindi. Kasi sabi nga ni Sir Richard, di ba, dapat yung lahat ng aspects pa rin complete. Physical, mental, di ba, social, etc. Kailangan pa rin merong MKO. Kailangan pa rin. Thank you.
Opo. So, I think kahit independent learner na, ang inaano lang is guidance. Di ba po? Tama. I think that's what Madam is trying to say. Sir Richard, would you agree?
Yes po, Ma'am Kat. I highly recommend po talaga, no? Even a high achieving students should, there's a need for a parental guidance, while they are having this home-based learning. Kasi, syempre, yung din po, hindi lang ang pinag-uusapan ay yung kanilang academics. Even though very independent na siya, sa ating mga magulang, dapat nakikita natin yon. Yung halimbawa yung ating anak ay nag-stay na lang sa kwarto, nakakulong na lang. Dali ay isipin natin, ay kasi nga magaling yon, kayang-kaya na niya ganyan. But take note of other aspects. So kinakailangan mabalanse pa din po yung lahat. Sabi nga natin, dapat may balance ng pag-aaral, ng pagtatrabaho, and free time and play. So yun po.
Thank you, sir. So I think we have, as I said, time for one last question. This is from the Bicol University official Facebook page from our viewer, Ms. Kim Vibares Baldon. So sabi niya, how can I say no to my classmates when they are asking help about our studies? Sabi niya kasi, I just noticed it's happening repeatedly to the point that I cannot focus on my own modules anymore? So for this question, I think we can get the insight of our student participant, si Miss Aubrey, na kung minsan mahirap tumanggi. How do you say no, Aubrey?
Yes po, hi ma'am. Medyo nakarelate din po ako dun sa question kasi ano, it's actually common sa magkakaklase na humingi ng tulong sa bawat isa, especially kung medyo nahihirapan pa po doon sa mga topics or sa mga lessons na tinuturo ng teachers, ganyan. And helping is not actually bad. I mean, pwede kang tumulong, pwede kang mag-share ng mga natututunan mo, ng mga napag-aralan mo. And for me, it should be clear sa iyo mismo, sa sarili mo, kung hanggang saan lang yung limit, or yung boundary ng pwede mong itulong sa kanila. And yun po, minsan kasi may times na tutulong, may mga activities na minsan pati yung mga sagot ngayon ganyan, kailangan mong i-share. But ikaw po mismo dapat alam mo, and you have to say no talaga na hanggang dito lang po yung kaya mong matulong, because ikaw din po mismo may mga kailangan kang gawin. And as part of learning, dapat you have to learn on how to be an independent learner, especially po sa ganitong paraan, ay sa ganitong mode of learning. You can ask for help, but you also have to learn on how to learn independently.
That's right. So thank you, Aubrey. So for the students, yun nga, wala namang masamang tumulong. But there is a limit to helping na hindi naman maaapektuhan ka na din. So I think that's all for our Q&A this morning. So we thank everybody who shared their questions and their insights. Thank you so much. So we come now to the awarding of the certificates for our resource persons and guests and the participants. For this part, I would like to call on our extension coordinator, Sir Pop Buemia. Sir?
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Kat. Good morning po sa ating lahat. And at this point, let me award the Certificate of Commendation to our resource person, guests, and to you participants. I think we start with awarding the Certificate of Commendation to the resource person, Professor Richard M. Lorente. Chad, this is for you. Thank you very much. Same certificate is also awarded to our guest from Ligao National High School. Thank you, Ma'am Bren, for honoring our invitation to be with us, to journey with us on this third session of our home-based learning webinar. This is for you also, Ma'am Bren. Next, same certificate of commendation is awarded to the teacher representative, Ma'am Mildred L. Ludovice, who is also at the same time a registered social worker. Ma'am, thank you very much. And this is for you also. Last but not the least, representing the student, we have Miss Aubrey D. Casoko. Please accept our certificate of commendation for you as the representative of our students. Last but not the least, we have the certificate for our very able moderator, Professor Catherine Lourdes Pitore. Thank you, Kat, for accepting our invitation to moderate the third session. This is for you also.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The rest of you, our dear participants, you will receive this e-certificate. As of the moment, there is no name there, but what I will do is I will type individually, one after the other, based on the sequence when you answer the post-session evaluation. So I hope that you would realize that it will take some time if your number is 435 in the list, because it's only me who do this. Hindi ko po ito ibinigay na po sa aking mga teammates kasi po nasa sa akin po yung yung access doon sa Excel file na yon. So I do this in the evening, yung pagpapadala po sa inyo ng inyong e-certificate. If you receive the e-certificate tapos meron pong mali sa spelling, then try to reply. And may I suggest also, please check regularly your inbox. Kasi meron pong mga participant na almost 3 weeks na hindi nag-check ng kanilang inbox, tapos nag-message sa akin asking about their certificate. Sabi ko, ma'am, I have already sent your certificate a day after the session. So please, makiusap po ako para po mabawasan din po yung stress sa inyo at sa stress po namin. Ano po, okay? So I think give us 2 weeks, ano po, para po ma-send sa inyo yung inyong e-certificate. Currently, wala pa po siyang NAIAP number, but we're working on it para po magkaroon ng NAIAP accreditation number yung mga e-certificates namin. At this point, I say thank you very much po sa inyong lahat for accepting our invitation. There is still one session which will happen within the next 2 weeks, March 4. And I am very sorry po doon po sa mga napadalhan ko na po ng email. Disregard there the date of February 4. Kagabi ko po yun isinend sa inyo pa isa-isa rin po by group of 100. You are now 700 plus na pinadalhan ko kagabi. So, namali po ako doon sa February 4. It should be March 4. And the questions asked by Mr. Hoviliano, I think, will be answered, during session 4 because one of the focus would be learners with special educational needs, which will be discussed to us by our very able parent and teacher with her practical experiences with children, learners with special educational needs, Professor Karina R. Altavano, and we have invited 2 experts here. Both of them are working in schools for learners with special educational needs. So, if you are interested to know more about this aspect of home-based learning, helping children with special educational needs, we invite you to please register, accomplish the pre-registration there, plus on the screen. And then for the evaluation today, I have already removed the permission requirement, so you can easily just access it, but the evaluation will close at 5 p.m. I'm very sorry, but we need to do that because we need to start sending you your certificate. Ano po, okay? So thank you very much in behalf of the College of Education and the Bicol University Extension and Management Division. Good day to all.
Thank you very much, Sir Pop. So again, our sincerest appreciation for your insights and participation this morning. For sure, every one of us learned a lot of new perspectives and lessons. Once again, may I please remind everyone that we have one more remaining session for our webinar series on homeschool team parental involvement in home-based learning. The 4th session is on best practices. Be happening on March 4, 2021. For that, we will be having Prof. Karina R. Altavano as our resource person and Prof. Maria Sheena A. Haushan as the moderator. So this will be broadcast through the BUEMD page, the BUSE Facebook page, the BUSE ILS High School page, and the BU official Facebook page. Also, you may now pre-register through the link flashed on your screen. So malay nyo, may pa-load card ulit. So mag-pre-register na po kayo. And at this point, we come now to the end of our webinar session. As a last reminder, please accomplish the post-session evaluation through the link provided to you. We look forward to understanding your evaluation of today's webinar so that we can improve our future webinar sessions. Please be reminded that accomplishing the post-session evaluation is a requirement for you to be given a certificate of participation. Again, this has been Catherine Torre. On behalf of the team, we thank you all for attending the third session of the four-part webinar series on homeschool team parental involvement in home-based learning. We hope to see you all again. God bless and goodbye for now.